Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy, and this is the series number 11 wrap up. Series number 11 was North American Market Snus. So I will be running through the products that I have reviewed in this series and giving some final thoughts. So 1 through 3 started with the Skoal snus products. There are 3. I did include the Canadian edition. So it was mint, smooth mint, and the Skoal Original, which is a Canada-only product. They were all fine. Nicotine levels were okay. They're not the strongest. They're not as strong as the General, let's say, or the Thunder, but they were strong enough for me. And also they were larger pouched, which from a dipper's perspective is a good thing because they were very close or similar at least to a dip pouch. So you could actually have the feel of dipping, but they were spit free. The mint and smooth mint, I preferred the mint myself, but the smooth mint was okay. It was a little stingy in the mouth if you did actually put it up top, but I personally keep all the Skoal products down bottom as I would dip. The original was sort of a original snus flavor. It was a natural tobacco flavor backed by a citrus. So they were all okay. 4 through 6 were the somewhat newer Thunder products. They were the original Strong, and the Red Strong. So the original was all right. I'm not a big fan of the natural snus flavor, but it was okay. It got the job done. Nicotine seemed fine. The original Strong and the Red Strong. Okay, the original Strong is just the stronger version of the original. Again, it was okay. But I started to notice that the byproduct got a little uncomfortable in the throat. The Red Strong, although that video I did have other problems, including my tie tightening up on me, the Red Strong was the same way, even more so. It just didn't seem like the products, they weren't finished well. They had some rough edges to them. The original Strong was the original flavor. The Red Strong, I believe they have that billed as a cranberry raspberry mix. There were some rough edges about them. So, nicotine though was good and whatnot. So, 7 through 12 was the Camel line. There were 3 small pouch products and 3 large pouch products. So the small pouch products were Frost, Mellow, and Mint. And the large ones were Winter Chill, Robust, and then Frost. Frost is the only flavor that has small and large pouches. All of them were fine, but do keep in mind that they are all sweet. Now, because of the Robust's standout flavor, and in my own opinion, not a good way standout, because of its flavor, one doesn't notice the sweetness as much. And it seems like they reeled it in a little bit for the Winter Green version, the Winter Chill. But besides that, they are all very sweet. The Frost is a spearmint, all right? And the Mint is a peppermint. Although the Mint has a aqua green, greenish can design, which would lead you to believe it's spearmint. But Frost is actually the spearmint, and the Mint is actually the peppermint. Mellow was nice. I always enjoy it. All of these products, though, are geared for smokers in non-smoking situations. They do have enough nicotine to take the place of a cigarette, but that is a lot less nicotine than you find in your average pinch of dip. So they were a little bit lacking on the nicotine side. They weren't meant to replace dip. They were meant to replace cigarettes. And for what they were meant to do, they do it. And they do it pretty well. Just keep in mind, if you are a dipper, that they are lower nicotine, okay? And they are very sweet. If you were not a sweet guy, then you may want to take a pass. So then 14 through 18 was general. As expected, a quality product. Unlike the Thunder, no rough edges to it. Everything was finished real well. Nicotine was there. The flavors were good. As I said, I don't care for original snus flavors, but I can deal with it. It's just something I don't, go out of my way for by any means. So they had the original, the white. It's basically the same product. The original is a moist version and the white is a dry version. Then they had the wintergreen, mint, and mini mint, which are all white, dry to the touch. They were good. The mini mint was I think for the amount of tobacco in it, it had a good nicotine level, but there was a lot less tobacco in the mini mint. It was really mini. So you want to take that into account. If that is pricing at the same price, I don't know if that's worth the money. Partly because, although it comes in a very cool can, because the can is smaller, the can is much smaller. And the mini mint only has 20 small pouches, whereas the large varieties have 24. The large varieties, although you can't replicate the feel of a dip with them, they do have enough nicotine. The nicotine's there, and you don't get any uncomfortable byproduct like the Thunder products. It doesn't get sort of feeling weird in the throat and whatnot. So personally, as far as actual snus goes and being able to buy it at a local brick and mortar store, if it was between General and Thunder, I would go with the General every time. The Thunder was interesting, and it's good to have variety, and that coming onto the market does add more variety, but I think the General is just finished better. It's a better finished product all around. So moving on from there, we went 19 through 21 to Nordic Ice. It was frosted mint, wild cherry, and wintergreen. And to be completely honest, I don't know why they took the time to make any of them. Low nicotine, bone dry pouches. I mean, not just dry to the touch. Inside the pouch, no moisture level. Cans were actually pretty cool. They're basically amount to a all metal dip can, but packaging of a product doesn't make me buy a product. So very little flavor. They were spitless, but that's only because really there's no spit. It doesn't get any mouth juices going at all, no matter how long you keep them in. So really, the nicotine I didn't notice any. I'm pretty sure they're lower than the Camel product, which is pretty low itself. So yeah, if you see Nordic Ice, unless you collect cans or something, I think you can pretty much skip that one. So that was 1 through 21, skipping the unlucky 13 as usual, even though I am not really superstitious at all. I can't remember why I started doing it that way, to tell you the truth, but there was a reason besides superstition. All in all, to replicate a feel of a dip, I would say Skoal is the best product. All right. It also has enough nicotine, and for price, it's good value for money. For actual snus experience, or as close as you can get without actually ordering in from Sweden, I would have to say the General. It's got more than enough nicotine. It's dead on flavors wise. The presentation of the product is great. The packaging's good, the whole bit. Ease of access. I'm going to have to say the Skull again, or Camel. Probably Camel even more. Only drawback from the Camel is if you don't like sweet, you're not going to like probably any of the Camel products. And a lower nicotine amount. They're meant to take the place of a cigarette. And they have the same amount of nicotine as a cigarette. The thing is, cigarettes really don't actually have a lot of nicotine in them. That's why you're using multiple ones per hour. The more you get into it, and that's when it becomes more and more mindless. And next thing you know, you're running through packs and you're like, wait a minute, what? Because it's just, So the Camel products are good, but now that the prices are up around $5 in my area anyway, I'm not quite sure. To get enough nicotine out of them, you'd have to get a larger product, and you'd have to at least double up pouches. So that leaves you with 3 products, and I'm going to suggest that you take a skip on the Robust, because the Robust it's an acquired taste, and I don't think I've even acquired it yet. So that's about it. If you want to replicate the feel of a dip, go with the Skull. If you want an actual real snus, go with the General. Take a skip on the Nordic Ice altogether. And the Thunder, it's strong. It is strong, but it gets a little uncomfortable. When I tried a couple of the Red Strong later on after the review, I actually ended up using a mud jug with it. So, my pick for a dipper would be the Skull. And for actually a real, or as close as you can get to real snus experience, I'd go with the General. Ease of access, though, the Camel is going to be sold basically anywhere that cigarettes are sold. In a metropolitan area, I'm guessing it's like that in most of the rest of the country as well. So, this has been the series number 11 wrap-up. This has been the North American Market Snus series. It has now come to a close. I'd like to say hello and thank you to That Gamer Drew and Lars Lynch. Guys, I do thank you. I will be doing a couple things before we start the next series. I'm not quite sure exactly what order I will be doing them in, but the next series will start within the next 2 to 3 days, and it will be Fine Cut Winter Green series number 12. Guys, I do hope everyone is well. Do take care of yourselves, and as always, God bless.